In this video, tea apps. Which is the best tea app out there? Let's find out. Hi guys, this is Gabriele from nannuoshan, where we share the pleasure of drinking and discovering genuine farm tea. If you're new to our channel and you're also looking to expand your tea knowledge and brewing skills, well, then make sure to click on the subscribe button and don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you enjoy what you're watching. Today we speak about tea apps. I want to tell you which is the best tea app out there, and for doing so I will review 3 different apps today. When you choose for a tea app, what do you look for? Different functionality. One of the main features that people look for is brewing tea. You want to have an app that helps you in brewing tea so that, for example, you don't forget your tea in the gaiwan like I just did a second ago. Another nice feature that you would like to have or may like to have is a tea log, a way of recording all the tea that you have on stock or all the tea that you are drinking. And it's not bad if that tea app has also a tea community behind, a community with which you can exchange information and opinion about the tea. So these are for me the 3 main features that we tea lovers want to have in a tea app. Of course, there are other secondary features, and some of them we will review them together as well. But let's focus on these 3, and in particular actually on the first one, brewing tea. So I selected 3 tea apps that are able to help me in brewing tea Gongfu style, Gongfu cha style. And if you don't know what is Gongfu cha, there are some videos out there. One we did a long time ago with Michela that you can find also on our YouTube channel. And there we compare Gongfu cha, is a method of brewing tea, with the classic Western style in a large teapot. So if that's the only one you know, using a very large teapot like half a liter, 1 liter, and do just 1 steep, well, let's check out that video because you might be really, eyes opening for you, and you may discover a really new fantastic world of tea. But anyway, let's focus on the 3 apps that I have chosen for this video. The first one is called Tea Head Timer. The second one is Steeped, and the third one is My Tea Pool. Now, the first one, Tea Head Timer, is only available on iPhone. It's not available on Android, and it doesn't come for free. It costs about $5 in the US and €5 in Europe. The second one, Steeped, is actually completely for free and is available on both Android and Apple mobile platforms. The same actually for My Tea Pool, for free and available on both platforms. So, said that, now we want to look into the different features, and the question is how we are going to rate them. What is important to find in a tea app? I would say, first of all, we want to rate the 3 functions, the 3 features that we just described before. We have the tea brewing, the tea log, and the community. Moreover, an app should also be nice. Should be nice, a nice design, nice to look at, nice to use, user-friendly, ergonomic. So we will evaluate also the design of the app. And on top of that, as mentioned, there are some secondary features that may not be that crucial, but are nice to have. And if they are there, why not? Is an add-on to the app and to our experience. So let's evaluate also other features. Now, before I tell you all the rating and so on, let's first have a look at the 3 apps so that you get a feeling how they really look like. So I'll start a recording here so that you can have a look at them. We start with My Tea Pool. When you open it, that's the main page. It's quite extensive. You have a first tea. It changes every day. It's a tea of the day with the description of the tea, just for information. So here you go. We have another feature, tea knowledge. Then you have the tea that you recently brewed. You can look in different styles, let's say oolong and different styles of oolong. You can go down, there is a section with stories. They also change all the time, and they are curated stories from tea followers and or tea subscribers. Then there is logs. In logs you have a calendar with all the different teas that you have been brewing in the different days. Club, they have a tea club, a tea subscription, where you can order tea and you can drink the same tea that your tea pals drink on the platform. There is a community where people post every day pictures and description of the tea they are drinking. And you can even follow tea pals so that you are notified when some of your tea friends or tea pals are actually posting. And then there is some information and some settings about your person. So now let's switch to another one. Let's go to Steeped and see how Steeped look like. So Steeped is more straightforward, more lean, when not so many options, let's say as my tea pal. And you see instantly on the bottom left there is a button for brewing tea that actually we didn't notice before with my tea pal. In fact, there is a bit hidden. I will have to show you later how to brew tea with my tea pal. Then there is a section with your settings. You can select if you're using imperial or the international system of unit. So in this case I'm going for grams, milliliter and Celsius. You might go for different one if you are overseas. And then there is a section with upcoming where you find all the new upcoming features in the app. So let's have a look at the last one, which is tea head timer. And here you have in the dashboard, you have a list of all the tea that you have recently drunk and a quick summary at the very top with the number of infusions that you have taken over time with the app, and which is the average duration of your tea session. Now you see here that it says that I drink tea on average for every session for 64 hours. That's not the case. It's about 64 hours just because I keep on forgetting finishing a session, and so it runs until I just brew it the next time. Unfortunately, it doesn't have an automatic stop feature when you actually brew the last session. Then there is the tea journal with a summary again of the tea that you have drunk with more information. It tells you also how long you have done the different steepings here. And then there is a button in the center, start, to actually start an infusion. All right, so that was about a first glance into the different apps. And now I would say, let's brew tea. So I'm not going to brew tea for real, because if I have to do that with every app, it will take forever. But I want to run you through the process actually of brewing tea so that you can have a feeling of how it works with the different app and if it is something that you like and need or not. So let's start, let's start here with the last one we had a look at, the tea head timer. And there is a button start, so I get started. And I can choose Gongfu timer, manual timer, or taking only notes. We go for Gongfu. First infusion, you can select how many seconds you want. Let's say that I go very short just because, let's do 10 seconds. And you can select if the next infusion you want to add seconds to the first one. Let's put just 5 for now. And then you can click on Let's Brew It. There is a button on the top right for notes. So here you can write which tea you are drinking. Let's say that you are drinking this one here. It is an organic Tie Guanyin roasted. So I'll write organic Tie Guanyin roasted, which type it is. It is an oolong. The amount I will go for 5 grams in 100 milliliters of water, just for my reference. Water temperature 100 degrees centigrade, and that's fine. I click on OK and I start my brewing. So the app starts running, and after the 10 seconds or so, in this case, it will give me a signal that it's time to pour the water from the Gaiwan into the Gongdao Bay. Then I will go for the next infusion. Now I brought here to add 5 seconds, but if it is a Tie Guanyin and it is rolled, you want to do the second step sometime shorter. So I click on next infusion, but instead of doing 15, I want to do 5. So I can adjust it. I go back and back to 5 seconds and I rebrew it. And you see here on the top that it writes it is the second infusion. And I can go on and on and on, or simply click on finish session I finish, the session is done. I cannot restart again that session because it's completed, and it is now in my tea journal in the very first line. You see? Actually, I just tried before, and you see that before I did a very similar, not identical brewing. So now let's do the same with steeped. In steep we go to brew. Now we have to select one of the teas that is available here. I cannot enter my own tea for now, but there is tea guanyin, so I go for tea guanyin. Start a new session. It tells me to, hold on, no, start a new session, okay. Brewing method, I have to choose which brewing method I want to brew it. You see there are many, you can even do cold brew with this one. So I go for Gongfu style. Then water amount, 100 milliliters, it's fine. And at this point it tells me in the bottom how much leaves I have to put for the 100 milliliter gaiwan I'm going to use. So it says 4.95 gram, very precise. I went for 5 before, it's kind of similar, I'm lucky. Hit the, it says the water to 95 degrees centigrade. I went to 100 before, lucky again. And it gives me time. I can adjust the time from default 27 seconds for the first brew to much less or much more. I go for very weak brew just because I want to speed up. And I can start the instruction or the timer only. So let me show you the instructions. Heat up your water to 95. Let's say we have done that. Then add the leaves, the 4.95 gram leaves to the pot. Done. And then when you're ready, you start the timer. And so we do. And then you have those 13, 14 seconds that run. And again, at the end of the brew, it will give me a signal. And it means that it's time to pour my tea from the gaiwan into the pitcher. Then I can continue. I want to go for the second brew. Let's go. It gives me the instruction. I say that at the beginning you can skip the instructions and go straight to the timer. And then it starts over again. So we are, there is a countdown here. And if you've seen, this second brewing is actually longer than the first one. So even if it is a rolled oolong and I would like to do the first brew actually a little bit longer than the second one, I cannot do it here. It just goes the other way around. I cannot influence that. Let's say that I am done and I end my brewing. I'm done. The brewing is reported now here with the last tea that I've been brewing. And let's do now the same on my tea poll. I told you before, there is no really a brew button here. If I go to this plus, I see post log tea where tea. I don't see a way of brewing tea. So the only way to do, you go in logs, at least that I know, and you have to enter a new tea. So you want to select the tea. Now I have it already here, I have organic tea guanyin, but let's say that I don't have it in my list. So you would have to add it. You have to write your the name of the tea, organic, tea guanyin, roasted. The vendor you can add the tea type, in this case is an oolong, the styles, we say this is a tea guanyin. A lot of information. You can say if it is in stash, and if you have it, let's say you have just 20 gram left, you can write 20 gram and it will keep track automatically of how much you consume. And then, yeah, different options here that you can add, but I think we are not going to enter everything, and I say save. At this point, I can click on it and I can go to the next tab and I can enter the brewing parameters. So here, I can select the water temperature. We say that I want to do it at 100 degrees. The first brewing, we say that we do 10 seconds. And at this point, actually, I'm ready to start the brew. Wanted to show you one more thing. You can even select the teaware. So you can enter your teaware, and I have this 100 milliliter gaiwan, so I can pick up that one. And at this point, I start the timer. you have your 10 seconds running, and then at the end of 10 seconds you get again another acoustic signals to tell you it's time to pour the tea from the gaiwan into the pitcher. And go on. You can add an infusion, you can change even the temperature of the second infusion, you can change the time. We said we want to do the second one shorter, and you go on, you start the timer and you do your second infusion shorter than the first one. So this is something we can do here. It's done, we save it, and we are done. Yeah. So this is the way you can use the 3 apps to brew your tea. And now what we have seen is that the first one that we have seen, the tea head timer, is very straightforward. You don't even have to add any information about the tea if you want, and you can just start straight away. You can adjust the time at each infusion, even while you are doing the infusion. Let's say that you started the infusion, it lasts 30 seconds and you want to do it shorter, you can just modify the time very easily directly in the app. Then we have steeped, that has a lot of different way of brewing tea. We said even cold brew, Western style, and so on. There is a limited amount of teas that you can choose. The list is quite comprehensive, but of course you will not find every single tea that is out there. You can find always something similar. Then you select the capacity of your tea vessel, in this case a gaiwan, and then it tells you which is the temperature, and it guides you through the steepings, giving you the time for every single brew. And then we have my tea poll that is way more comprehensive. First of all, you have to enter all the information about the tea. Once the information are in, they will be in forever, let's say. So the second time you're going to brew the tea, you don't have to re-enter all those information. You just go in the log, you select the tea, and you do your brewing, selecting and entering the water temperature and the steeping time at every single occurrence, at every single brewing. All right, so which are the next development steps of these apps? Are they going to give us new features in the future? I checked that out, and I have to say that for the tea head timer, I couldn't find any hints of update. It seems that the app was developed some years ago, and it's pretty much stayed at the initial state. So basic app, it gives the functionality that it gives you, but not more than that in the future. Then we have Steeped. For Steeped, there is a whole page actually on the web. Let me show that to you, where you can see all the new upcoming features. It is actually let me do a recording here. It is actually an app that has been developed recently, so it's still in development, and there are a lot of new features coming up. So you see that here on this page there is coming the possibility of contribute with products. We just mentioned there is a limited amount of products available on the app. Well, soon you will be able to add your tea and your teaware on the database. That database will be a large database shared among different users, so there will be also accounts and user and way to interact between the users. Very interesting, there is a shopping feature. You will be able to buy on the app from different stores, but using only one app. So you can go inside and you can buy certain tea from a shop, certain other tea from another. You can make comparison between different shops. You can put them in the cart, and in one go you actually process all your order from the different shops. Then there will be libraries and profiles, so you can create your own list. We just mentioned that we didn't see some tea log features, and here actually it is foreseen. It will come in the future the possibility of listing your own tea and also discover the list of others, so also some community features. And on top of that, I was told, because I contacted them, that they will also include some tea knowledge sessions there. So similar to my tea poll, where you can have different information about the different teas, there will be also there a session with tea knowledge. Well, About the third app, my tea poll, I haven't seen an announcement of further development, but I've seen that they've done many versions in the past, so it seems that they are taking care of the app really on a regular basis. It is already very comprehensive, so probably there is not that much to be changed, but I would say that they are keeping track of any possible improvement, and from time to time they do improvements. I haven't found any information on the web on really major updates coming up. So now, guys, is the time to do the rating. And in the rating, I will give you also a little bit more information about the app to really find out not only which is the best of the three, but actually which is the best for you, right? I've done this rating before, so I take a look on my notes here because it was quite comprehensive, so I want to really remember everything, and I will put anyway everything on the screen so that you can see it from there. So we said we have three apps: Tea Head Timer, we have Steeped, and we have my tea poll. We said at the beginning 5 different features that really we want to evaluate. Try different rating criteria if you want. We have the brew capability, and we want to distinguish between brew tea for experts and brew tea for beginners. Then we have the tea log capability, the community, the ability to exchange with other tea lovers. Then we say the design and other features. So let's see how all of them rank for each of these. So first of all, brew tea for expert. For me, these I give 5 stars to Tea Head Timer, simply because you can tune every possible parameter very quickly, and you can even adjust those steeping while you do the infusion. That is something that the other app do not offer. At the second point, I will put Steeped, because still allows you some flexibility with weakness and strength of the brew. It doesn't allow you to modify all other parameters, but nonetheless it's quite quick actually to start the brewing. While for my tea poll, although you can enter every single infusion, you have to do so. So every single time, for every infusion you do, you have to enter the water temperature and the steeping time. Yeah, there is no way around it that I haven't found. And on top of that, you have at least the very first time add the information about the tea. There is not a function where you just brew and go straight with it. If we look though from a beginner perspective, then in that case, I would give the 5 stars to Steeped, because there it really guides you to the steeping. You don't have to think too much. You don't have to have that knowledge. You just choose if you want the tea weak, strong, or somewhat in between, and it gives you all the other indication. The other apps do not help you. You have to find out your way. So it's just a way of tracking and not forgetting your brew, but it doesn't help you in giving you advice about how to brew it. So the other 2 apps I ranked in the same way. And by the way, for each criteria here, I'm giving 5 stars to the best one of the 3, and then I evaluate the other accordingly. So all in all, you see here my ranking. I would say that the Tea Head Timer is the best one for tea freaks. People that, you know, have experience with Gongfu chai, know what they are doing. Steeped is the best for beginner, and my tea poll is the best for brewing tea for methodical and systematic person that really like to put all the information in. Now, let's look at the tea logging feature. The tea logging feature, we have, okay, here we go. We have, the best one is my tea poll. It is so comprehensive. It's really, it seems like actually is meant first of all to be a tea log, and only secondary to be actually a tea brewing app. So it's very comprehensive. Steeped is at the moment not offering any logging feature, so I put here between bracket 3 stars because that feature will come up later, but it will be only tea list that you have to create. I don't think there will be for now the automatic recording of the tea that you are brewing in the different session, while the Tea Head Timer doesn't have those lists, doesn't tell you which teas do you have on stock, but it records automatically the brewing that you're doing. So now let's look at the community. Well, Tea Head Timer doesn't have any community, so no evaluation there. For my tea poll is very comprehensive, so there is a very wide community out there. They are also active on Facebook. You have all these stories and the possibility to choose what to follow what the other tea polls are doing, so they get really the 5 stars. For the Steeped, we have just very little functionality at the moment, actually not in the app. There is just a link to a Discord server where you can find the community of the app and you can interact with them there. But in the future, they mentioned that we will start actually also a community in the app. Is already mentioned on the website. And based on the feature that I have seen, that it will not be as comprehensive as my tea poll, but almost there. So I gave 4 stars here. For the design, it's a bit personal, but to me, I would say that the best design is Steeped. It's very lean, it's very clean, it's minimal, and it's really thought through and meant for an app, a mobile app. While if we look actually at my tea poll, it's a bit clumsy. It's a lot of information you have to navigate through to find things. It seems almost it was meant at the beginning actually for just a website, a computer app, and only later on integrated in an app. I don't know. Many information, so I know it's very difficult to put them in a way that are of easy access, but nonetheless, I find navigating in Steep way better. A middle ground is actually the Tea Head Timer. There is very lean, very minimal, but there are also very little features. So yes, it's a minimal design, but also not too difficult to have it clean just because there are so few options there. Now let's look at other features. So for other features, I would say that with the tea subscription and the tea knowledge sessions of my tea poll, they would get 4 stars. I'm saying 4 stars because actually, even if today there are not so many additional features in Steeped, that thing, the fact that we'll have different shop platform integrated into one and you will be able to buy tea directly there, this is something very unique that I haven't seen elsewhere in the other apps, and just because of that I would give him 5 stars actually. Also because at the end they will have also a tea knowledge session. There is already a subscription, but you can find only on the website, not on the app, so it's already quite comprehensive. For the other one, the Tea Head Timer, there is not really many other features. The only features they have is this brewing and a little bit of logging, so that's it. All right, let's look now at the overall summary. Let's look now which is really the best. I made an average of all those ranking. I merged together the 2 brewing criteria, beginner and expert, and after having merged those, I did an average. And what comes up is the following. So the winner, let's start with the winner. We will see if it's the winner, but let's start with the winner. He is my tea poll, 3.9 out of 5 stars. Then the second one would be Steeped with 2.5 stars. And then the third one is Tea Head Timer with 2.1 stars, just because of the limitation in terms of functionality that it has. However, this evaluation is just a picture today. If you watch this video in the future, and not too far in the future, because actually those updates are already on their website, Steeped is announcing today major updates. If I consider all those updates in my evaluation, and you have seen the stars that I gave before, I end up for Steeped with 4.3 stars. So over time, my prediction is that in a few months from now, Steeped will be actually the first app of this tree. Now, what are they good for? Because this is only, you know, a kind of average evaluation of the 3 apps, but it really depends, guys, of what you need. So for me, I would say the Tea Head Timer is really meant, is a good app for minimal tea freaks. Minimalist, just, you know, you need just the basic, those brewing features. Steeped is the best app for beginners for sure, because it guides you. And I would say that when they add all those functionality, will be the best all-in-one. The app that has so many features, including the shopping, in one app only. My tea poll, with all the level of the details that include, I would say that's an app for logisticians, for people really that are very methodical, very systematic. I am actually one of those, but I don't have much time to keep track of all my teas, so I don't do that. But if you really want to keep track of everything and you don't want to write it down by hand, then my tea poll is really the choice to go, I would say. Yeah. So say that. What do you think is the app that I use the most? It is actually the one I gave the lowest ranking. It is the Tea Head Timer. And the reason is that I use that app really only for avoid forgetting my brews and keeping track of it. The fact that I can use it very quickly, I don't even have to add the information about the tea, so there is no recording. I just start my brew and I can start just selecting the time, and that's it. And I can adjust based on my previous brew, something I do all the time. I start with the tea, start with 20 seconds, oh, it's a bit too strong, or I predict the behavior, and then I adjust the next steps accordingly, even during the brewing. So that's just why I'm using it. But that might not be the best for you. Alright guys, I hope you have enjoyed this overview of all the different apps that I found out there for brewing in Gongfu style. I have a disclaimer though. I haven't really looked into every single code and part of the app, so I'm sure I forgot something. I may not have noticed something, or even I say something wrong. If you are a user, or even if you are the owner of a developer, I say something wrong, I forgot something, please write it in the comment below. I'm sure that happened, so that everyone is aware of those. Also because some new feature maybe will come up soon, later on in the next versions of the app. Said that, I hope you are going out and downloading the app. You will find all the links in the description below. And until then, I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys!